Hello, everyone. It's Soba here again. Well, Jack, Soba, whatever you want to call me. We're kind of changing the channel, as you probably guessed from my last video. Anyways, so we're going to get into today's drama of Extreme Park Adventures. Again, as I've stated before, and as most of you probably know, because most of you who subscribe to me are from probably play at XK. Let's put this in respect for it. Basically, I started working there in 2015, give or take. 2015, yeah, 2015, about right. And so, more or less, what would have been happening back then, when I started working there, was, how do I say it? So, more or less, what had happened was in my 5 years of working there, I had known a few really, really great individuals who were my almost mentors to a degree. Some of those people, more specifically Pat and Alex, who were the managers at the time I had started working there, were great guys, number one. Knew what they were doing, had a lot of experience playing airsoft and not just, reffing or working in a field. And so they those were really good years in the field. It had its ups and downs at times, because it was an airsoft field and they come with a lot of drama typically. But this is where things start going downhill. So I'm not trying to hate on anyone, because I think everyone who works there, for the most part, are really good people. There's a lot of people out there who work there now. I have no idea who they are, because I've been in college for like a while now, and I've been at military school before then, and SOAR, before then. And quite frankly, there's a lot of people I don't know there, and I don't really have an opinion of them yet, because I haven't gotten to interact with them. That being said, here's where we get down to it. Okay, number one, XK, the current management, they're good guys. They're friendly, chill people. The problem is that they do not have a really big basis of how to properly run the field. And when I say this, I'm not saying it like that they're like, don't understand how business works. That's not the issue. It's the fact that it's an airsoft and paintball field, and they do not understand exactly what's going on with that. Those two individuals, again, they're good people. They're learning. One of them, I believe, I haven't spoken to in forever, but I think he probably understands the basics how to run it. But he's almost never there. Bringing us to our next point. He's almost never there. And that's a huge, huge issue, is when you have management who do not show up to work. And then, by the way, set a standard, you have to be there about 45 minutes beforehand to the field. But they do not show up until about 45 minutes afterwards, and you're still sitting, waiting outside when people are already showing up. Again, I have no ill will towards the individuals who are currently management there. My issue, though, is that, again, and I hope, I don't really care if they see this or not, because I no longer work there, but they need to understand that in order to have the refs, to keep refs, because I don't know if they have noticed yet, but a lot of refs, including myself, I was probably one of the first people, besides, no, that's actually inaccurate. I was one of the most recent people to have left working at the field. And the reason why is the retention rate for refs is very low now, because we are not properly given what we need to do our jobs. There's a lot of stuff that's overruled, etc. Stuff that we have been taught, and learned for a long time of working at that field. And yet suddenly all the stuff we've learned from working at the field and understand how processes work there are suddenly changed and overruled without warning. And then we're like, okay, what the heck is happening right now? Why are you doing this? What's going on? And so because of that, it's like, I'm not sure if I really want to stay here, because everything's changing, and unfortunately, it's changing in a way that I do not like. For me, it was a lot about the fact that we had lost a lot of buddies of mine who were working there, specifically over the fact that management did not seem to have a grasp on what they were doing. It is evident, even now, the amount of disorganization and the amount of stuff that is allowed to be fly. I guess that's the way to say it. A great example being there was an airsoft event, paintball. A bunch of people came for paintball on my last days working at the field, actually. It was this huge group out of Durham or somewhere, and they were rowdy, they were breaking a lot of rules already immediately. I'm lucky I didn't have that group. I was working another group. But I still rest my case. These individuals who came on in that field that day said they were going to steal markers, meaning paintball guns. And they were going to have a game in the parking lot, which, by the way, has cars, including my brother's, including mine, including, my friends. And you ask yourself, who the hell are these people think they're doing? So me and my buddy, I'm not going to name him for his own safety, for his own, kind of privacy. I don't really want to mention names because, that's just not cool. And also I don't want to out my buddy as, someone who was participating in this with me. But basically what we had been doing is from the moment they were preparing to leave, we basically watched them and we were ready to freaking throw some hands with these people, to say it nicely. And without, giving away what we're button to. But they were basically a lot of these guys, and it actually turned out they had, a shit ton of fucking weed. I'm pretty sure it's legal in our area, but that was not the issue. It was the amount they had was an illegal amount, and number two, there was kids around them when they were smoking that shit. And I'm not talking about teenagers because, hell, I don't give a shit what they do. They can do whatever the fuck they want. I don't care. But it's the fact that, these people were, we reported it to our management, and they did absolutely nothing about it. Bringing me to our next part. There was a situation that happened, and I have it unlisted on my main channel because I do not want to show that stuff on my channel because it's kind of, political, very political. But there's a couple individuals who came over to the XK and started threatening a 16-year-old boy, saying that they were going to dox his address and get a bunch of people to his house to kill him. I have this all on clip. I have this all on tape. I'm not posting it because I do not want to start any shit with internet. And with YouTube's policies, as we all know, do not support people like my friend, the 16-year-old kid, who's wearing a Trump 2020 patch on his vest. And what I mean by this, and this is, again, I'm not going to get political here at all. This is not the point. This is what I'm trying to say. The point of the matter is that this kid, was first verbally assaulted by these individuals who were offended or something over the flag patch. They have a right to be offended, don't get me wrong. But that's not the issue. The issue is the fact that how they approached it and how they made up lies about him, saying he had said something racist, when in fact he did not, because I know in the situation that they were talking about, they come up and said, fuck you to him, flipped him off, and I was next to him, and we're like, okay, buddy, whatever, we're going to have fun, or something like that, and we walked away. That's our exact words, what we said. And then after that situation, it came down to us when we were hanging out in the staging area, and started screaming at him. And so, I'm okay, this is getting out of hand. And so I walk up to them, right? I'm like, hey, buddy, and it's like, if you're trying here to defend, blah, 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 then you're being a race traitor. And I'm like, okay, now you do not need to be racist right now. You do not need to be offensive. You do not need to be mean. I'm just trying to figure out what's happening because I work here, right? I'm just trying to help you guys, defuse the situation. And from there, it escalates. I start recording because, I was going to have this as, evidence in case I needed it. And it got to the point where, I picked up all this stuff, them threatening this kid, threatening him with physical harm, mental harm, and all these other things. And if you look in the videos, one of my managers is sitting there and letting it happen. Me and all the refs, on the other hand, who understand how the situation works, tried to intervene and were told to back off because we don't know what we're doing, quote unquote. Part of the first thing I was taught as a ref when I first started working at that field was how to defuse situations. And when I say defuse situations, I mean situations exactly like that, where people were going at it, people were mad, people were angry, how to separate people. That was my job. My literal part of my job description and it's just like, why? It's like, why are you telling me how to do my job that I have been doing for 5 years and you've only been doing for a couple months? Just because you're a manager and just because you're in a position of leadership does not mean that you can tell us, the refs, how to do our jobs. Because I can assure you that we know how to do our jobs because we've been doing it for longer. Granted, there's a lot of refs there who do not know what they're doing. At that time, there were a lot of new guys, but they learned. They listened to the older refs who've been there for a while, and they learned from their friends. They didn't learn from them, the management. They learned from people who've been here for years and learned how to work for those people who've been there for years. And, I'm not going to say anything to start drama because that's not what I do. Because there's a lot of other stuff that goes into play of what I said that, may or may seem contradictory because, like, well, didn't they learn from the previous management? And I'll tell you that, yes, they definitely were sat down with the previous management and taught, stuff, but it does not show that they listened or anything to what they said. The biggest problem I have with XK, and this is a huge complaint because this is something I think a lot of people have been saying for a long time, and have not no sort of disclosure on it. I honestly have no means of understanding, wanting to speak out about it, right? Because, that's not really, openly. But here I am doing it for you guys. Because, I feel like doing it since, I worked there for 5 years and I feel the need to try to save the soul of that business. And it comes down to the simple fact. XK is a place right now where they have an very, unqualified, undertrained or unqualified individuals in positions of leadership who treat everyone else and their employees as if they know better than them on how to do their job that they have been doing for over, anywhere ranging from 1 to like 5 years of experience working at that field. Individuals who have been working there since, I started playing there. And they tell them who could manage that field themselves how to do their jobs. And this comes, I guess, from the simple fact that, in a position of leadership, and this comes from, my own experiences, learning leadership through, both military and both, outdoor leadership setting and as a first responder, is that, the simple fact of the matter is that leadership means that you are going to, you're just as much of a follower as everyone else who follows you. And what they are presenting to me, is not leadership. It is, it's literally being a, boss. And there's two different things. A boss is not technically a leader unless they act like one. What they're doing is they're saying, well, I don't care how you've done it for the past, 5 years, even if it works. We care how we do it here because this is the way I want to do it. And your way is stupid, and we're going to keep, we're just going to do it my way. So it all comes back down to leadership. And the problem is right now that field is significantly lacking in leadership. It's even the small things. The United States flag at that field is in tatters right now, and it's been that way ever since Pat and Alex, who, my original managers, left. Just keep that in mind, XK. Thank you for watching.